They've never had rain like this ever anywhere in U.S. history.
Right.
Have had this much rain in one city in this short amount of time.
Keep cruising, now we rolling to the next stop. Keep cruising.
Oh, hey, yep, there it is. Good morning, day 7 of vlogging with all of my Tell the World family. We are in Texas. We are on our way to Houston. But before we arrive there and help with what's going on with the flooding, I'm doing a radio interview.
Clayton Jennings, he's an evangelist from the Indianapolis area en route to Houston. Clayton, this is Linda. Good morning.
Good morning, Linda. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So give us an update with our listening family, what you're wanting to do, with your ministry to help the folks down in Houston.
Well, my heart coming down here with the social media following that the Lord has given me in this platform, anytime that something happens on this level, there's a lot of people that write in and say, hey, come, anytime that we have a natural disaster, come here, pray for this. And so, of course, we were getting the messages like that from folks in Houston. But then I just had to kind of pause and pray on it. And a friend of mine said, you should really consider going. And my wife and I talked and said, listen, this is it. We need to do this. I'm going to head down. And we first thought, let's take a trailer of food and supplies, which we've done. We're pulling that behind the truck right now. We've got it loaded up, which we'll deliver to a shelter and people today. But we also thought, let's launch a service down there, a revival service. All 3 churches that we had to choose from are now out of commission. I mean, within 24 hours, they went from being okay to being underwater. And so the situation's obviously getting worse, but we just took that as something to adapt and overcome rather than to just pause on our plan. So it said, okay, instead of doing a service, and maybe this is the Lord saying, it's not the best idea to try to get people to drive to one of these anyways, how else can we raise funds? So I did a Facebook Live. This is a funny thing, there's telethons, but we live in a world now, maybe it's social-thon, because we used Facebook Live, and on the drive down here, just asking people to donate to Samaritan's Purse through a link that we set up, we raised $20,000 in 45 minutes. Incredible. And then overnight, that's doubled. We're at now $42,000 that people have given from not just here in the States, but all around the world. People that follow this ministry have now donated, and we're up to $42,000, and all of that will go to Samaritan's Purse. And it's just beautiful to see people from all walks of life come together to help one another out. And I think that's just an incredible thing, to show each other the love of God.
All right, Clayton, you and your family just have safe travels down there. Be safe, and we know you've got a great message to share.
Headed to Houston. The guy in front of us has a boat with life jackets. I'm guessing he's headed there to help too.
Flood warning.
There's emergency. Flash flood warning this area till 2 p.m. We're pulling into Houston right now, and you can already see, look how close that water is to being on. This is the main highway, north and south. And the flooding is reached the banks right there. Houston, we have arrived. We're headed downtown to check out the flooding there. This is right downtown, and you can see the water rushing and moving right here, even to the point where it knocked the tree over right there. Volunteers, America, America, America. This is Allie, she'll be hanging with us. And then this is Allie's fiance, my homie, David.
Hey, brother, when did you guys first hear that this hurricane was coming?
So we live in Katy. It was probably like Friday morning. Well, Friday morning they canceled school. So all of our kids were with us, and we were like, man, it's not even raining. Like,
actually,
what are they
Thursday
talking
night they canceled school for Friday.
They canceled
and
for
they
Friday.
said a storm was on the way. Really, everybody took it kind of lightly, man. I mean, we just wasn't in a position where we had ever experienced anything like this before.
And then all of a sudden it just hit hard. Downpour, just non-stop for days. And then it was tornado warnings. There were tornadoes that touched down in some of the businesses near us.
There is a RV storage. That tornado 2 miles from us, this place is literally in our backyard. It tore up that whole RV place.
So you weren't just dealing with flooding, you were dealing with tornadoes too.
Yes, between the tornadoes and the flash flooding, when you're in a tornado situation, you're supposed to go low. Yeah. You're supposed to get into your basements. We don't have basements in Texas, so they're like, you got to stay on the ground level, you got to get under closets, whatever. But then with the flash flooding, you're supposed to go to higher ground.
Yeah.
So there was like massive rain, but then tornado warnings. So our emergency alerts on our phones were going off every hour. So these reservoirs were not built to sustain that much water.
Wow.
So instead of them being compromised and then breaking and just destroying thousands of, just mass problems, they've decided to just consistently release what they're saying is a little bit of water from it. But we found out this morning it's like millions of gallons
And it's gonna
of
flood
water
homes.
per minute
Yeah,
that they're releasing.
Yeah, it's actually
Per
what
minute?
they're going to be releasing.
Per minute.
They're going to be releasing 3.3 million gallons of water every minute.
So these homes right now, they've got to be watching it every day, thinking, "What if it comes over?"
Yeah, but I think these homes right here will be affected by the reservoir. Not rain coming down, but the reservoir. when
Where
it's
we're
released.
sitting right now, there'll be standing water.
These homes will
That's coming.
be lost. So we came from down here.
That's where
Ground
we were at.
level from down where we came from. This hill approaches up. This is about 6 feet right here. You can even get some type of understanding. Look at the side. Right,
And
that's
it's like
maybe
down on the
what,
other side
maybe-
too, huh?
That's got to be what, 10 feet, 12 feet. Now
And the water's
you
just
looking
standing
straight out, and you can see how high the water is, and the ground from there to over there is the same after the hill goes down. So that's what.
And the concern is that water is going to come over that hill potentially down there, and then you have neighborhoods
That
right
water
there.
is gonna come over this hill.
There was a family that was staying with their great grandparents, I believe. They were elderly, and they were all trapped in the house, and they just didn't make it.
I see that you have this on. Did you lose an officer here in the flooding?
Yes, officer the other night was en route to work, and this car flooded. He did not make it to work.
So we were just talking about the fact that with all the division in the country and the junk we saw in Charlottesville and then the political division, you have an event like this and people are forced to come together to help each other. You realize you need each other.
His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And I'm not trying to say that calamities and catastrophes happen to bring people together, but God knows the expected end, and He'll do whatever He got to do to fulfill His will.
And He'll use it for good.
Yeah, He'll use it for good. So we're realizing, man, neighbors are getting to know neighbors. People are reaching out, getting to the point, just getting in water, helping other families. And that was the stuff we wasn't doing before. My own neighbor even came to me and said, I didn't know you guys before, but I know you now.
Wow.
But that's the mandate. The Lord wants us to just go out of our boxes, get to know people, reach out, help out.
Going through some water. So this is the Houston Beltway. And it's hard to believe that right behind me, 16 and a half feet of water right here. And it goes all the way to 16 feet deep and just as far as you can see. You can see where we're at right now. There's a regular intersection behind us. You know, a four-way intersection with lights and everything. But right here, the road just goes and it disappears. And people are going down there and they're loading up in vehicles, big vehicles that are tall enough to trudge through this water, but jet skis and boats. And they're going to homes and they're rescuing people. You can see every type of different boat here, inboard, outboard, you know, little boats, big boats, kayaks, and people are just coming from far and wide. They're putting their boats in here, and then they're going out into those neighborhoods to try to rescue people. I mean, you're literally seeing it right here. We were gonna get on a boat with one of our buddies down here. Every time we would try to drive through traffic, we'd run into flooding. Couldn't get to him. So we're coming over here now to meet with some people. The family right here that just got rescued and pulled out of their home. Little boy, family taken out of their home during the flooding. It's pretty special, man, seeing people come together like this and help one another. We paused our lunch here in Houston because our local media back in Indianapolis wants to do a story. So we're going to do an interview with the news station there.
It's not just goods Hoosiers are donating. Some are heading right into the heart of the devastation.
It's hard to put in words.
Those on the ground say it's difficult to truly describe the devastating scene in Texas.
It's nothing less than heartbreaking.
But Hoosiers Clayton Jennings and Blake Whiteley knew they had to help, so they packed up a trailer with supplies and headed to Houston. They used social media to raise tens of thousands of dollars along the way.
We just came down here to help anybody that we can in need.
The duo says they're planning to visit shelters and helped some victims as they got off rescue boats.
We met with people who've been affected by the storm, and we just shared hope and love with them and heard their stories and told them they're not alone.
Pastor, how are you?
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
Thank you for having us. We brought water, socks, blankets, and bread. Is that what you need here?
That is incredible. We literally have like a mountain of clothes.
Okay.
People are bringing clothes like amazing. We have workers who've come. We have a medical triage. We've got people that have been at MD Anderson, doctors or whatever, that come here earlier today to try to help. What we've needed is socks. What we've needed is more bread.
Good.
We've needed, bottled water. We were just asking for things like this, so it's perfect because a lot of the food is already going, so they're like, someone just said to me a few minutes ago, we need more bread. So I was like,
really?
I just got a text.
That's of the Lord because we didn't know. We just thought
the bread of life,
bread
right?
Of life.
So you manifest in that.
Well, tell the viewers the name of your church.
Our church is the Church Triumphant. We're right here in Pasadena, which is really inside of Houston. We're a growing multinational, multilingual church. It's pretty cool, and we're so glad you guys are here, and we appreciate everything you do, man.
Thank you. It means a lot. We appreciate everything you do.
Yes, sir.
You're serving on the grounds here, and to be able to come here and hopefully just bless y'all. I mean, you're being a blessing to this community, but to play a small part in that is an honor for us. So thank you, Pastor.
We're just seeing it. There's no racism, there's no gender, there's no political. It's just people loving people and taking care of each other, and that's what it's all about.
That's it.
And that's where revival can really help in this land, so that's what we're after. So.
Pray the same way with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll unload this stuff.
All right, man.
We love you.
We love you.
Go follow on Facebook. Tell them about your Facebook. Is just the church's name?
The Church Triumphant is
Church Triumphant
has a page. I also have a page, Jason Cisco. We also, if you want to donate to the church in any way, it would be triumphtoday.org is our website.
Okay.
Just /give.
Okay.
So
we'll make sure all of that stuff has been listed while we've been talking.
Sure.
It'll also be down in the description in the comments. We'll put everything there.
I appreciate that, man.
And join them because what they're doing is they're helping people on the ground right here, and they're doing it with the love of Jesus. So all of you that follow, you're lovers of Jesus, partner with these lovers of Jesus like we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, brother. God bless you.
Kindred spirit. All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. This is amazing. Look at this. It's a shelter for people in this community. Look at this. Clothes, piles and piles of clothes and resources and blankets, and now we're able to come in here and partner, bring water and bread and blankets of our own and socks, and to see this in the church building. Sometimes it takes a bad circumstance to bring out the best in us, and that's what we're seeing right here. It's incredible. So let's unload this thing. The bread of life.
Yeah.
So the bread, brother. Where do I take bread? Hang a left. Okay.
We're thankful to be alive and dry.
Amen.
God kept our base camp so that we could help be a light to other people.
That's awesome.
So thank you for all that you did. I know that you were just bringing in cartloads.
We're separated for, this is our medical triage. We have 2 doctors and 3 nurses in this room right now. We have at least 3 at all times. We have several that are on call.
Yeah.
So this is for the medical triage part here. And then we're also behind the curtains where they're doing wound dressings. And
what have you seen? Have you seen things that were surprising to you? I mean, everything must have surprised you the way the storm came. And tell me your experience.
Well, I did a lot of praying, and it just, it's a little overwhelming to talk about, but just did a lot of praying, and we have been asking the Lord to let our church be a bright light in our community for a long time, and we've done a lot of community outreaches and whatnot, but nothing on this magnitude. But all of our team has the same kind of heart, and Texans get together, and especially Christians, that just try to do everything we can to help. Right. So we've a lot of us have been up for 2 or 3 days just praying, and texting and reaching out to people. But I guess some of the heartbreaking things was seeing families standing on top of cars, just waving and begging for help. Yeah. I was on the phone with friends last night in Beaumont that were afraid of drowning. I was staying on the phone with them, trying to encourage them last night.
Oh my goodness!
And their houses, 2 of them, it was 2 rows, 2 feet in 2 hours. And so that was a lot. We had some children that may be coming tonight that they're all under the age of 10, that their parents are presumed dead.
Oh, you're kidding.
So we're trying to prepare for them. And so that's just a little bit. My heart's really full. And
so
I'm not the best on camera.
You're doing great, and you are being the hands and feet of Jesus right here.
Thank you.
Helping these folks.
Thank you. Some of our nurses and doctors.
How are you? Hi guys.
This lady.
So you've got this set up where people can come in here and sleep.
We'll have 51 by the time the night is over.
So you have 51 people who are staying here tonight.
Correct.
Check it out, girls 8 to 12, boys I mean, infant girls, infant boys, and it's just a whole hallway of clothes.
And all of this was shoes. As far as you could see this morning, most people that arrived here had on wet clothes for 4 days.
Wow.
And they were so thankful to have shoes.
I'm
We
sure.
had a lot of prayer in this hallway with people last night.
Wow.
So, and then in the back of the sanctuary, we have all the men's and the children's stuff. We have a whole section for toiletries. I don't know if you saw all that, but toiletries, personal hygiene items.
amazing.
And then bags of groceries that have already been prepared.
I see.
So,
It's
but that's where
incredible.
we are.
You know, this is an amazing opportunity, even in the middle of the trial. What other time can the church the people come to the church like
Right.
that, right?
Absolutely.
And then you get to serve them and love them like Jesus loved, and you're doing that. So I commend you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you inspire all of us.
Thank you. Well, this is what we're created to do. We talk
Amen.
about being the hands and feet of Jesus, but you don't often get an opportunity like this to just be a massive place.
Yeah.
And I think once people realize that everybody's wanting to help some way, and so we started off to be a shelter, and then now in 24 hours we're a massive distribution center, and it's just growing. So we got a big God, and we got
big God.
we got
And
big
you have a
hearts.
big heart. That's right.
Big hearts, and we're all going to work together.
Lord, we come together and we just we thank you for who you are. We thank you that in the middle of the storm you still have a plan, and that you have a purpose, and that you say, you know what, we're going to use these people and use their heart for your glory, Lord. I thank you for everything you've done in this place. And I pray, Lord, that the Holy Spirit will continue to fall here, and that people who come here won't just be fed and clothed, Lord, but will be fed the bread of life, Lord, and clothed in your righteousness. You know, hear about you and will saved because of it. Lord, I pray the gospel goes out of here, and like a great lighthouse in this community. We give you all the glory for it. Bless these people in Jesus' name. Amen. For every single one of you that donated, and we're over $50,000 now. This is what you did right here. Honor God, and this is what you did right here. You love people, and this is what you did right here. You're transforming the world, one person at a time. I love the Tell the World family. This has been an awesome ride. It's amazing. I love you all.